Okay, I believe we are recording. Where does it say it's recording? I want to just make sure real quick. Oops, that's not what we do. Oh, it is recording. Okay, perfect. All right, guys. Real quick. So I want to explain the day, what happened. Unfortunately, I did lose $55 today, but I'm not too worried about that just because of how it all went. So here we go. So the market opens up right here. The market opens up at 6:30. So right where this red and green are touching. And basically it came straight down and it was about, what was it? $4. So it came straight down $4 and then it started recovering. And so when it recovered and then it started chopping right here, well, down here, I was like, okay, well, I don't really think it's going to go much more than probably $5, $6 up. So basically, like whenever you see a straight down and then straight back up, you're usually about twice as much. Now, if it's a give or take plus a couple dollars. And so I literally got short right here at 51.86 as my first trade today. And on this very first candle, there's no one in the world that gets short on the first candle going up from this whole fucking tear plus a chop. And then as it starts to tear up, I short instantly. There's no one else in the world. And what does it do? It goes down, comes back up to the same spot, comes down. So, I mean, down here I was up 20, down here I was up 25, comes back up. Then here I'm losing $10 and I haven't sold or done anything with my position this whole time. Then it comes down here, back up 25, then it comes up, back to break even, then it comes down, up 35. And basically, the reason I thought it was going shorter was because this down didn't have a bunch of chop and creating a bunch of resistances. Then this up, once it did start making resistances, it didn't break through the resistances. It only kept going one direction. And so I figured by the time it started changing direction, it was going to change without much resistance and like just at least towards this low. I was obviously wrong about that. So it's a bummer, but not the end of the world. And so basically it comes up here. I basically like cash out for break even or something. And then it starts doing this and then down. And I didn't really like, I may have shorted a little bit here, but I didn't like much of this and I wasn't doing much. And then it starts coming up and it starts creeping up, very low resistance, very low resistance. And so by the time it got to here, I should have been long at least. I should have realized what was happening. But instead, what I realized was that the pattern was forming. And what the pattern was forming was I said, I'm waiting for one red candle bar and then I'm going long. One red candle bar that goes below the previous red candle bars. So if this guy would have dropped below here, I would have gone long. But instead, it does this, and then this red candle bar dropped down to here below these red guys and I went long. I cashed out right about 51.95. It ran up to 51.98. And here, right about here, I went short. And basically, this pattern that I'm talking about was clear and obvious to me that as soon as it did this, I actually caught this. Like I knew that this next red bar was going to give me a big green one as long as the red came below the previous red, because I've seen this pattern 100 times. This is like the ugliest version of the pattern I've ever seen. This is the worst trading day of all time. Like if you look at this is the open price, 51.78, all the way through the first 3.5 hours of the market. It never moved more than $11 from the open. That is so rare. It's retarded. Um, so I'm a little frustrated by that, but I'm not really frustrated because like my pattern stuff is totally working. So basically what this pattern does is it starts to create reds that don't really have a pattern to where the red is going. And then it has one big red candle that goes below the previous red, and then it comes to a new high. And then from there, it drops back down. And basically I cashed out the short around here to get some of my losses back. And then when it came back up to here, I shorted it one more time, and unfortunately I didn't take my $20 profit here. Because I did think that, like, so basically I was assuming that the pattern started around this guy right here. And so I was assuming that it would come down to this point right here. And so I thought when it was coming down here, it was going to break through a little bit more. But typically I'm only looking for this one trade and then one trade back up, or I expect it to keep going down. But I definitely told everyone it's definitely going back up because of the way the pattern is running. So basically, if you see this guy and it's going big candle down, big candle down, big candle down, when this big green candle happens, you can suspect that it's gonna drop out and hit like probably new lows. Like that is a very bearish pattern. And so whatever the low is, like you should expect that it's probably gonna hit that or go lower. And so as this started dropping, I see this giant recovery, and then it drops, and then another good recovery, and then it drops, and then this recovery, and it drops, and it's just like these recoveries are like, if it's going to keep going down, you know that these recoveries shouldn't be there, and it should be much more downtrend. And so these recoveries told you that it was coming back up, and unfortunately, like it's just I was waiting for this, and so I didn't get to catch the upside or downside. Well, I didn't get to close my profit on the downside, and then I didn't catch this upside, but I should have, and I will next time for sure. I'm not too worried about today because today was such a garbage day as far as if you look back in the last 30 days, you can't find a day that moved this little. And when I say move this little, I'm talking about the price action happening in every minute candle. These are the smallest minute candles you've ever seen. These are the least amount of volatility like one direction or the other you've seen in a long time. And if the VIX kept going down and the market goes to all-time highs, like this may become like twice a week kind of day. But luckily for us, the market is going to crash some more. And we are going to get some more volatility. And if you ever see this pattern through a normal day where we're seeing $40 from the open up or down, um, this pattern itself is going to be a $20 pattern, meaning that this little guy right here, I should have been able to catch $10 because it's going to be a $10 candle. And then downside is going to be $20 candle. And then when I'm making $20 profit, it's much easier to take my profit here and go long because now I'm only worried about a couple dollars from the actual spot that I thought I might go. Um, and it just becomes, yeah, I mean, so the whole idea of this came down, so this is going to go up a certain amount and then it's going to start coming down. Like I fucking nailed it. The whole idea of this pattern that just shaped, and like it's actually hard to see this pattern. This pattern looks way more regular and consistent and something you would expect when it's a more volatile day. And so just because it was such a slow day, it's really hard to see the pattern that I'm seeing. If you already know what it looks like, and I told you, and we like, let's say we named the pattern something, and I said, oh, this is that one pattern. You'd look at this chart and be like, what? Doesn't even look like that pattern, but it totally looks like that fucking pattern. Clear and obvious it's a fucking pattern, and that's why I was able to hit the profit on it. Um, yeah, so I mean, here's the thing. You could be looking at my money, you could be looking at my wins and losses, and you can try to draw these conclusions about me maybe not being that great of a trader, maybe being too much of a gambler, whatever you want to call it. But the fact is that what I'm calling out here and what I'm doing here, you will never find another fucking person on the planet doing it. I'm the only one. And this is the worst pattern, the worst day possible, and it's only going to get better from here. And like I got so many good patterns that I know exactly when it happens. I know exactly what's gonna happen and usually how much as well. And so, yeah. Um, I hope some of you with the brain understand what I'm saying and understand why the trades that I did make today were actually super fucking strong trades. Every trade I did went into $20 of profit. The only reason I took a loss today was because I just refused to cash it out because um yeah, that's just one thing I might have to work on. But One of the reasons I didn't cash out was just because once this started dropping, it dropped to here, then it dropped to here, then it dropped to here. And typically, when you see a pattern hitting lower lows on that and keep recovering, typically you're going to see a big dump out. Obviously, on a extremely low volatility day, I should be less confident in extreme anythings. Because like even this right here, it's still nothing. 51.98. The open was 51.78, so it just barely made $20 movement by the end of the fucking day. Like super weak fucking day. I promise. We're gonna see some good stuff, and this ain't it. But I'm not disappointed. I'm not embarrassed about today's trading day. Like I feel like you go look at anyone else's advice on trading today. No one else got you into a profit that as many times as I did. Like if you're just following my trade, there's always an opportunity to take the profit. I just didn't. And so yeah, I think this is a good first day to do an update video on. Tomorrow will be better. And yeah, use your brain, realize that what I'm doing is different than what anyone else is doing. Like for me to go short on this green candle and be right about it, no, like every trader that thinks they're a trader would have called me fucking stupid because it's two big green bars right behind each other. How do I know it's going to stop there? Well, I fucking knew. And how did I know? Because it came down here and then we get back up to here. And so I know we're going at least $4 up from there, which is here. But I was like, no, it's probably going to go $2 more above that. And it literally went exactly $2 more above that. So the pattern recognition, it works. It's real. It's going to make a fucking fortune for me and everyone that follows along with me. And I really want you to understand it. I want you to learn it and not need me to trade. You can see it yourself and you can know what's happening. And so I made a video yesterday on YouTube, and all I recommend is that you go to that YouTube video yesterday. I definitely recommend you watch all of it, but the trading part is probably the last 45 minutes of it, 50 minutes of it. And I go into a lot of the patterns and a lot of the stuff I'm looking for to determine when I'm ready to trade. Yeah, I mean, I really should have caught all of that. Like I knew it was gonna bounce up. I was just hoping we'd get a little bit lower. It's an amateur trade of me, honestly, because if I think it's only going to 51.88, then why don't I just close out for a $20 profit, $10 less than what I would have gotten, go long here, and then worst case scenario, I'm down $10 before the reversal. Pretty stupid fucking trade of me, but yeah. I'll get it right next time. And again, like this pattern that I saw, like super hard to see in this situation, but I did see it right around here. And I was like, I was just waiting for my big red candle. And that's why I went long and then I went short. And the point is that when you see this pattern right here, typically it's a $20 pattern. It's a big old pattern. And $20 is a lot of money. It's $100 fucking swing on one contract. And for someone who only has $200 in their account, that's 50% ROI on my entire account. And I fucking nailed it. And I'll nail it again and again and again. And most of the time it'll be much better than this garbage. But I am a little disappointed I missed this uptrend because I knew it was going straight up, because when it started coming down, there was big green candles all the way through the downtrend. So I knew it was coming back up. But why did I? And like you can go watch my YouTube video live today, and I'm talking about it the whole fucking time. Like I just need to really start focusing on cashing out a little bit early and going long a little bit early, and I'm going to be gravy. There ain't going to be no problems on my side. So I hope that makes sense to you, why I'm a different trader than everyone else, why you can learn something new from me that does not exist in the market right now, in the marketplace. There is no advisor like me. I am the best. And I'm going to take over the world doing this. Just you watch. All right, well, I think that's all I need to do for the update video. Tomorrow I'll be live. I'll trade tomorrow, and then I'll do an update video at the end of that one as well. But I really, really do expect to start securing profits by the end of every day. And it wouldn't surprise me if most days I'm making 100% plus on my account. Like as soon as this hits $500, I'm going to start trading 2 contracts. As soon as it hits 750, I'm going to start trading 3 contracts. And in that situation, like most days, no matter, like most days, I should be able to double my account. Alrighty. Well, I hope you guys have a good Monday.